Hello Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So Cancer, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energy. We're going to see how the both of you are currently viewing this relationship and how you guys feel about it and what actions you guys plan on taking each other's direction and are moving forward. So with all that being said, Cancer, let's get started. How does Cancer currently view this relationship? All right, Cancer. All right, okay. So we do have the Lovers, we do have the Fool, and then we also have the Six of Cups. For some of you, you could be dealing with a Gemini, possibly an Aquarius, maybe even a Scorpio. It doesn't necessarily have to be the case, so you might just have that within your chart. But Cancer, in regards to how you're currently viewing this relationship, there's somebody here that you currently find yourself connecting with. Now, this person that you currently find yourself connecting with, it does feel like a fairly new person, somebody that you don't really have history with. I am definitely getting that. So this is definitely not like a starting over energy between you and somebody that, you know, you already have a lot of history with or anything like that. This to me feels like a fairly new connection. That you currently find yourself in. Now, keep in mind, time is fluid, so this could either currently be happening or maybe happening very, very soon. But this connection between you and this person, it will definitely grow at a very rapid pace. I do see you developing a very, very close and intimate relationship with this person. I am definitely getting that. The connection in itself might make you feel like you've known this person your whole entire life, even though technically speaking, you know, you haven't. I'm also getting that as well. But with the Fool coming out here, that is definitely telling me that this is somebody that you currently find yourself falling in love with. Okay. How does this person currently view this relationship with Cancer? Okay. Okay. I mean, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. This person is showing up, but I feel like this is the energy that this person was essentially harnessing prior to essentially meeting you. I wouldn't go as far as to say that they were extremely non-committal, although I think that a lot of people, again, prior to like them getting involved with you, perceived them as somebody who was extremely non-committal, somebody who didn't really have any sort of interest of, you know, settling down, getting married one day, you know, having, you know, a family, things of that nature. Because I am getting a lot of people perceived them as somebody who's very, very non-committal. I wouldn't go as far as to call them non-committal. I just kind of feel like they didn't necessarily found anybody worth fully committing themselves to, if that makes any sense. But in regards to how they're currently viewing you and their relationship with you, it kind of looks like this person goes from not really wanting to essentially settle down to wanting to essentially settle down now that they've essentially met you. With the Six of Cups, the Seven of Pentacles coming out here, you guys, this is just acting as a double confirmation that this relationship between the two of you guys, it's going to grow at a very, very rapid pace. I am definitely getting that strongly for this specific connection. I think that you fit a lot that this person is essentially looking for within a person, hence why they're looking at you as somebody that they can definitely see themselves settling down with, you know, building towards a life with, things of that nature. Now, even though this person is definitely looking at you as somebody that they can see themselves settling down with, building towards a life with, things of that nature. It looks like this person, you know, still wants to, like, you know, get to know you, spend more time with you, you know, things of that nature. But it kind of looks like they're already sold on you. It just kind of looks like this person needs more time to like confirm, you know, that you are truly the one for them. Now, at the bottom of the deck, we do also have the High Priestess with the Hermit. Now, this right here is a true pair situation. Technically speaking, the Hierophant or the High Priestess, these are two people who are technically married to one another. So this is definitely somebody who can see marriage, you know, with you. Like I said, I think that it's because you do fit a lot that they're looking for within a person. So they can definitely see you as someone that they can, you know, see themselves spending the rest of their life with. Which is not something that I can say this person has ever felt towards anybody else, is basically what I'm getting. Like, they never really met anybody that they can like totally see themselves spending the rest of their life with. Up until, of course, they essentially met you. I really wouldn't be too alarmed with this King of Wands like energy. I wouldn't be too alarmed by it. I wouldn't say that this person's non-committal. I just kind of feel like they didn't necessarily find anybody worth fully committing themselves to. But I mean, we still have to look into this person a little bit more nonetheless. But let's keep going. The King of Wands really wanted to come out, so I'll just take it. But how does Cancer feel? Okay. We have the Devil out here. Okay, so we have the King of Wands, we have the Eight of Cups in the reverse, and then we also have the Devil out here. Okay, so this is like a tricky thing, right? Because you did show up as the High Priestess. So that's basically insinuating that you are somebody who's very spiritually based, somebody who's very, very gifted. So let's break this energy down, and I'll try my best to describe what's really going on here. So with the King of Wands, the Eight of Cups, the Devil in the reverse, this to me, you know, feels like an energy of you essentially feeling like this person could very well be pining after you for a good old time, nothing more, nothing less. You're basically looking at this individual as somebody who doesn't have any sort of interest of settling down and who's only pining after you for all of the wrong reasons is primarily what I'm getting. Now, how do I explain this? Because I don't think I've ever gotten this in a reading before. This energy that you're sensing and feeling off of them is the energy that this person was basically harnessing prior to essentially meeting you. If that makes absolutely any freaking sense, Cancer. Do I think that this person's pining after you for a good old time, nothing more and nothing less? No, I wouldn't go as far as to say all of that. Now, I'm going to be very honest and transparent with you when I say this. Do I think that this person looks at you as somebody that they can see themselves settling down with, getting married to, starting a family with? Absolutely. But do they have a lot of lust and desire for you? Yes. Yes, of course. Yes, they do. You know, this is somebody who finds you to be very, very physically attractive. So yes, there is a lot of lust and desire that they have for you, but I can't go as far as to say that's the only thing that they want, because when we looked into this person's energy, it didn't show up that that was the only thing that this person wanted, okay? So just keep in mind that what you're sensing and feeling is the energy that they've been carrying around with them for a very, very long time. So you're just kind of sensing and feeling it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the treatment that you're going to receive from them, or the energy that you're going to receive from them, or the vibe that you're going to receive from them. I hope that I'm making sense here, okay? I hope I'm making sense. Oh, I'm going to beat myself up if I'm not making sense here. I hope I am, but this is just the energy, you know what I mean? That this person was, you know, carrying around with them before they met you, and they've been carrying around this energy for a long time, and you're just picking up on it. And I think that it's causing you to feel the way that you feel. It's causing you to feel like this person's just pining after me for a good old time, nothing more, nothing less, when in all actuality, you're just picking up on the energy this person has been harnessing for quite some time now prior to essentially meeting you, if that makes any sense. How does this person currently feel? Doom, 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 doom. Okay, so we do have the King of Cups. All right, we do have the Eight of Wands, and then we also have the Hangman. Yeah, the more we look into this person's energy, the more I'm just like, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that they don't want to have a good time with you, because they do, but I can't go as far as to say that that's all this person wants, especially because we do see this person showing up as a King of Cups. So that's telling me that this person is developing very strong and intense emotions for you, and these emotions that they're developing for you, yes, they are very strong, and yes, it is very, very intense, but it's happening at a very rapid pace with the Eight of Wands coming out here. With the Hangman coming out here, you know, for this person in particular, I think that this person, you know, the more they spend time with you, the more they get to know you, the more they develop this close, you know, relationship with you, the more they start to, you know, find themselves essentially feeling like, all right, boom, like this is the one for me. So there's a huge possibility that this person more than likely is going to push for more out of you in this dynamic that the two of you essentially share with one another. In other words, it's only a matter of time before this person pops the question. It doesn't take too long for a King of Cups, or it doesn't take any King of Wands or any King of Cups or any King of Pentacles or Emperor or Hierophant like energy to know, you know, if they are definitely connecting with the one or not. It doesn't take masculine energies too long, with the exception of the King of Swords. The King of Swords, for whatever odd reason, the King of Swords tends to take a while to figure out if the person that's sitting across from them is a person that they can see themselves getting married to or not. But when it comes down to like the King of Wands, King of Cups, King of Pentacles, the Emperor, especially to the Hierophant, like these are just masculine energies that just know right away when they're connecting with the one or not. Okay, what actions will Cancer take towards this person or moving forward? What actions will Cancer take towards this person or moving forward? Okay. So we do have the Page of Wands. We do have the Hermit. And then we also have the High Priestess out here. At the bottom of the deck, we do have the Seven of Swords. And then we also have the Queen of Wands. And then we also have the Knight of Cups. I mean, I'm not surprised. This person, technically speaking, they did show up harnessing King of Wands like energy, and you're also harnessing Queen of Wands like energy. I say this a lot about the King of Wands, and it goes both ways, right? Because you guys have similar paths is basically what I'm getting. A lot of people could have even perceived you as somebody who was extremely non-committal as well. I mean, the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands tend to get this type of perception that they're like non-committal individuals, but honestly, I think that it has a lot to do with the fact that the Queen of Wands is somebody who knows what they want, and the King of Wands is someone who also knows what they want. And these are the type of people that are not going to turn around and just settle for whoever just to say that they're in a relationship, just to say that they're married, or they're just not going to do that. Like, the only way I've ever seen the King of Wands settle down is when the King of Wands meets the Queen of Wands. That's the only time I've ever really seen the King of Wands, you know, settle down. Because if this person, right, were to, you know, essentially settle down with anybody else that's not the Queen of Wands, it would make the King of Wands feel like they're basically settling for less. And the King of Wands does not like to settle for less, just like the Queen of Wands doesn't like to settle for less. So there's a huge possibility that prior to you meeting this person, yeah, you could have had a lot of suitors, you could have had a lot of people that were interested in you and wanted to pursue a relationship with you, but, you know, you probably never really saw it through because you started to quickly notice that person lacks what it is that you truly want and desire. And again, the Queen of Wands is somebody who does not like to settle for less. You're not going to just turn around and be in a relationship with someone just to say you're in a relationship with someone. It would have to be, honestly, the perfect person for you. So it makes sense as to why, you know, this King of Wands can foresee themselves building and establishing a life with you, is because they finally met, you know, their Queen of Wands. They finally met their Queen of Wands. So, you know, then there's that. But in regards to how you plan on moving forward, this is the only worry and concern that I have when it comes down to you. Okay, I think that on a soul level and on an intuitive level, you feel very good about this person. I just kind of feel like this energy that you're picking up on, that, oh, they're just pining after you for a good old time. It's the energy that this person was harnessing prior to basically meeting you. But I feel like I don't know, like, I feel like you're confusing it. And you're kind of possibly going as far as to tell yourself that they're only just pining after you for a good old time, nothing more, nothing less, just based off of what it is that you're sensing and feeling. But this energy that you're sensing and feeling is the energy that this person just has been carrying around with them for a very, very long time. You know what I mean? And I think that that's the only reason why you're sensing and feeling it. I don't know if I'm making sense here. I feel like I am. I feel like I am, but I don't know. Like, I'm kind of beating myself up a little bit. Just roll with it. But anyways, so even though it's interesting, because even though you find yourself, you know, essentially feeling like, oh, this person could just be pining after me for a good old time, nothing more, nothing less, they're probably not even looking for anything serious, yada, yada, yada. I still see you deciding to pursue this connection, you know, either which way. I also see you trying your hardest to not get too excited and or get your hopes up, because again, you're also kind of telling yourself that they're just here for a good old time, nothing more, nothing less. And, you know, once they, you know, get what they want from you, they're just going to dip out on you and things of that nature, which is not going to happen and or even occur. But that's just kind of what you think, right? So you're trying your hardest to not get your hopes up and stuff like that when it comes down to this person. Now, my biggest worry and concern is this. When this person starts to open up to you, Cancer, and they start to express themselves to you and tell you how they feel and things of that nature, my biggest worry and concern is that you're going to find yourself you're going to find yourself questioning every little thing that comes out of this person's mouth. You know, you're going to find yourself doubting every little thing that comes out of this person's mouth, primarily because of this energy right here. I think that you're just, Not to say that, gosh, it's just because that's the thing, is that that's where you're kind of wrong, because you think that they're only you, oh, not that you think, but you feel like this person is just pining after you for a good old time, nothing more, nothing less, but you're just kind of going based off of the energy that you're sensing and feeling off of them, and it's causing you to think, well, that's basically what they want with me, right? A good old time, nothing more, nothing less. But that's not the case, you know what I mean? And that's another thing too, right? Is that if this person was just simply pining after you, for a good old time, nothing more, nothing less, things of that nature, you wouldn't find yourself, Cancer, um, continuing to essentially pursue them and build towards a relationship with them. Like, if you honestly knew that that's like the only thing that this person basically wanted out of you, like, you wouldn't be wasting your time, in other words, trying to develop a relationship with them and get close to them and things of that nature, if you truly felt like that was their intentions towards you, if that makes any sense. Okay. Because the thing is, with the Queen of Wands, it's similar to the King of Wands too, right? It's like, these are the type of people that are very honest, brutally honest at that, with themselves, but they're very realistic on top of that, okay? So, like, for example, if a King of Wands were to get involved with somebody who's just pining after them, for a good old time, nothing more, nothing less, they're not going to allow themselves to develop romantic feelings and or emotions for that person, and or even allow themselves to become emotionally attached to that person. It's just not something that a King of Wands would do, and it's just not something that a Queen of Wands would do. But in this case, what we see you doing is, feeling like, okay, they're just pining after me for a good old time, but I'm just going to continue to pursue them and build towards a relationship, with them, and continue to develop all these emotions for them. I think that that's a strong indication right there in itself, that your intuition is trying to clearly tell you something, that this individual that you're dealing with, they're not just pining after you for a good old time, nothing more, nothing less. Because if that was the case, you wouldn't find yourself allowing yourself to develop, romantic emotions for somebody who is unemotionally available. You just wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? A Queen of Wands just wouldn't do that. Even a King of Wands just wouldn't do that. Like, if you were like, I don't know, like, if you were like a page or something like that, then that's a different story. Pages are people who don't know any better. They're considered to be, the children, right? And tarot, they're considered to be, immature, naive, things of that nature. You're not naive, okay? You're not naive. Neither is this person. Like, you guys are not going to sign yourselves up to purposely get hurt and disappointed. And you know that if you were to involve yourself with somebody who's just pining after you for a good old time, nothing more, nothing less, and you allow yourself to become emotionally attached to this person, you know that you're putting yourself at risk to get hurt and disappointed, because you're developing romantic emotions for somebody who is unemotionally available and doesn't even have any sort of interest of pursuing you or anything long term with you. In this case, you don't find yourself in that predicament. This is kind of why we do see you continuing to want to build a romantic relationship with this person, because I feel like deep down inside, somewhere within you, your intuition's kind of giving you the green light, even though, like, this energy that you're sensing and feeling off of this person is kind of telling you they're just pining after you for a good old time, nothing more, nothing less. But that's just, again, that's just the energy that this person was essentially harnessing prior to basically, meeting you. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Jesus. Hopefully. Okay. So we do have the 10 of Swords. I do want to clarify that. We also have the King of Pentacles, and then we also have the 3 of Wands. Okay. Before I say anything, I want to look at the, have you ever met somebody? Yeah. So I don't know if you've ever, because that's, I mean, if you've gone through this, and you're going to know exactly, how this person's essentially feeling on their behalf. But have you ever met somebody and thought to yourself, like, damn, yo, if this shit does not work out, this is going to fucking hurt. This is going to hurt really, really bad. This is going to hurt really, really bad. Well, that's kind of how this person is essentially feeling. And I think that it has a lot to do with the fact that you're just different, from everybody that they've ever dealt with before, and they really, really love that about you. The fact that they can see themselves getting married, to you, starting a family with you, the whole enchilada, honey, it's a first for them. with the Ace of Swords coming out here, it's a first for them. This is a whole new experience that this person is essentially having that they've never had before. They've never met somebody that they thought to themselves like, oh my God, I mean, with you, I could just see myself spending the rest of my life with you know what I mean? Like, I could just see myself doing this, then the third, and having it all with you. It's a brand new experience, you know, for this person. The fact that this person's so madly in love with you and they're developing these, you know, emotions for you at a very, very rapid pace, and they can't stop it and or control it, you know, then there's that as well. But I do see this person with the Ace of Pentacles, so Justice card, you know, reaching this point within their relationship with you where they do feel like they're ready, you know, to take things a step further here, you know, with you. So they will be popping the question very, very soon. If you guys, I mean, if you guys are already in a committed relationship, this could just be like a recap of your relationship with this person, how you met this individual and how you were feeling when you did. But if you're already in a relationship with this person, this could definitely represent a proposal. That's definitely a possibility as well. But yeah, so I just kind of feel like with them, like they feel like they're ready, you know what I mean? To like, you know, pop the question, whether that's them asking you to be their significant other or them asking you to essentially, you know, marry them. But I do feel like this person's afraid. Absolutely. With the Nine of Swords to a Three of Swords, yeah, I feel like this person's, you know, freaking terrified. Because they know that if this doesn't work out between the two of you, it's gonna hurt, and it's gonna hurt like hell. But I do like the fact that this person's kind of like, you know, reassuring themselves, like, you know what, like, I'm gonna take a chance, man. I'm gonna take a chance. And, you know, I know if I lose cancer, this shit's gonna hurt like hell. You know what I mean? It's gonna hurt like hell. But I'm gonna take a chance anyways, because I know that in the end, eventually I'll be fine. Eventually I'll be fine. And eventually I'll get over it and move past it. And, you know, I mean, God forbid it doesn't get to that point, right? But yeah, I mean, are they scared? Yeah, poor thing. This person's scared that, you know, you're gonna break their heart, you know, betray them, you know, deceive them, let them down. But at the end of this person's trying their hardest to just kind of keep the hope and the faith that, you know, they never have to go through that with you. And if in the event they ever do, you know, this person's kind of like reassuring themselves that, you know what, I'll be fine. I think I'll be fine. So yeah. Just accept, listen, dude, just accept the fact that this individual that you're dealing with, they're not pining after you for a good old time, nothing more, nothing less. Do they want to have a good time with you? Yes. I'm not going to sit here and say no, absolutely. Like, they don't even think of those things when it comes down to you. Let's be for real, okay? They sure do think about it. They do, you know, they just do. But is that all they want? No. I wouldn't go as far as to say all of that. They do want it, but that's not all they want. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just want you to accept that already and just be consciously aware that what you're sensing and feeling is just you picking up on the energy that they've been carrying around with them. So this energy that you're sensing and feeling, okay, they're just pining after you for a good old time, nothing more, nothing less. You're going to start to notice it fade away over time. You know, like, you're not going to be sensing and feeling this off of them. But that energy that you're just sensing and feeling is just an energy that they've been carrying around with them all this time. You know what I mean? And it kind of looks like that's drastically changing. It, you know, now that this person has essentially met you, it kind of looks like this person wants to, like, give up their, you know, single life, their playboy, playgirl, you know, ways, and, you know, and settle down, you know, with you. But just accept the fact that this person, they truly do mean well. I think that the quicker you could accept that, the better off you'll be, because, you know, I mean, sorry, if not, you're going to find yourself questioning every little thing that comes out of this person's mouth. So when this person tells you that, for example, you know, they want to be with you, you're going to sit there and look at this human being like they got 10 heads. What do you mean you want to be with me? I'm confused. Thought you were just pining after me for a good old time, nothing more, nothing less. When in all actuality, the energy that you were, you know, sensing and feeling off of them was an energy that this person has been carrying around with them for quite some time now, and you're just picking up on it energetically speaking. Doesn't necessarily mean that that's the only thing that they essentially want with you. And I think that that's like where the confusion kind of lies. And I've personally never seen this in a reading before, which goes to show how fucking good you are, because I mean, you showed up as a high priestess. I mean, the fact that you can sense and feel the energy that this person has been carrying around with them prior to them essentially meeting you, I mean, that's pretty fucking impressive. And I can't say that I've ever had this happen never. I don't think that I've ever, no, I don't think that I've ever had that happen in a reading before, which goes to show how like gifted you actually are. Because if you can sense and feel the energy that a person has been harnessing and carrying around with them, you know, way before you even walked into that person's life, I mean, that's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. I don't think I've ever met a human being like you. Have I? I don't think so. This is like a first that I've ever seen this happen in a reading before. But yeah, that's basically what's happening. Moral of the story, just to kind of clear the air on that. But yeah, good luck to the both of you. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated. And I will see you guys in your next reading.